But before our awards presentations, we want you to hear from two educators and students who are quite passionate about economic literacy. These are our customers, so you are helping to support them. First, it's my pleasure to invite to come up to the stage Linda Haley. She is a dedicated educator who retired from the Rogers School District just last year. She served as a teacher for 7 years, was a school counselor for 3 years, but the last 20 years of her career, she served as the director of counseling. She also was a master economics teacher for our organization. We presented a Lifetime Achievement Award to Linda last fall for the impact she made not only in her district, but she also helps us train other teachers statewide. So here is Miss Linda Haley.
Now, once you get addicted to free enterprise, you're addicted. I don't care if you're a teacher, counselor, director, you integrate it into what you're doing.
Son, I'm a believer in free enterprise. Dr. McKinnon, who many of you know, once said, the U.S. economy is the 8th wonder of the world, and the 9th is that so few understand anything about it. I believe that preparing students for their future is the #1 goal of education. That includes understanding democracy and a market economy. We are the government, not some political machine in Washington. And we have a lot of responsibility in a free enterprise system. Buyers and sellers make most of those economic decisions. We owe it to our students to be prepared. So how do we prepare them? I need 2 hands. Excuse me a second. We are always telling students, you can be anything you want to be, do anything you want to do. The world is your apple. Go out and get it. But we don't always give them the tools to access that apple. Now, some students are fortunate they have an apple peeler, and it's real easy to peel this apple. But some students have a Phillips screwdriver, and it's not so easy. Some students have nothing at all. Now, eventually, you could peel this apple with a screwdriver, but it's going to be messy. There's going to be a lot of waste. It's not going to be very efficient. There's going to be a lot of frustration and anger. And if you don't even have a Phillips screwdriver, you're one of those with nothing, there's a lot of discouragement. Now I can hold it. I was honored to get to work with the discouraged students. They came from generational poverty, dysfunctional families, and had lots of personal problems. But I found that economic education gave them a bridge out of poverty, helped them deal with that dysfunction. And it was a life changer for me as well as for them. First of all, we have to teach kids about the American dream. You know what is said, life without dreams is a broken-winged bird? Well, so is free enterprise without the American dream. And we have to give these kids hope that that American dream is for them, not just their affluent peers. We have to help them find what they can do, not what they can't do. I'm reminded of 2 twins that came to our school because they could not pass their end-of-course exams. I worked at an alternative school for 20 years. And so they came to our school hopefully to get some skills and graduate. But you know what they could do was applied math. They participated in the very first Christmas Bazaar that we did as one of my projects, learning projects. And they borrowed the money to go buy the fabric, came from very poor background, borrowed the money, bought the fabric and the pattern, figured out how to cut it with the least amount of waste and what to stuff it with, and they made these gorgeous fleece neck warmers with athletic logos on them. They were our top producers. Those kids made close to $500 at our Christmas Bazaar, selling those and taking orders. Now, I'm going to tell you, they did not go on to make neck warmers for a living. But they did go into manufacturing. You know, success begets success. And when we bring things back to America to produce, we're going to need good people in manufacturing. We also have to teach them how to invest in their human capital. Good decision-making skills, like was read a while ago. Understand personal finances and how to manage their money. Wise investing. Nobody gets wealthy usually from their income. It's how well they invest. Avoiding credit traps. We also have to teach them the way they learn. You know, they don't learn by sitting in classrooms answering questions at the end of the chapter. These kids need hands-on, authentic, engaging education. They learn best from project learning and simulation, a token economy. They learn the best when they're having fun. Probably my best lesson is teaching laissez-faire economics with a big blue ball. We also have to focus on character. These kids didn't sit around at their dinner tables with their parents and grandparents talking about character. And you know what, looking around at the world today, I'm not sure too many people are doing that either. But we have to focus on character. Self-interest is not the same as self-centeredness. And the profit motive has to be balanced with business ethics. Voluntary exchange includes that interdependence that I teach kids by building castles with index cards. Self-reliance and resourcefulness are critical to the free enterprise system, but so is compassion and giving back. After all, we are all in this together. Free enterprise is the means to the end. The end is experiencing that American dream. So where are these kids today? Well, some are in the paper and the news for the wrong reasons, I'll have to admit. But most of them are working. They're productive citizens of society. And you can't give what you don't have, but these kids have something to give now. So they're giving it to their kids and their families and their schools and their communities. I thank God for these kids, especially when I walk into a cafe that one of my students is an entrepreneur, or get my car fixed at a shop that one of my students owns now. When I do that, I thank God for them. And I thank God for the American dream. And I thank God for the nation that had the courage to dream it. I'm going to share a story real quick about a couple named Manny and Priscilla who came to our alternative school. They were a couple and they had a young baby. They came from abject poverty, both sides of the family. And of course, every year at Christmas, I try to get sponsors for them and the baby. But they were the last year they were there, they participated in our Christmas bazaar, and they didn't make $500, but they made about $200 or $300 at the Christmas bazaar. By the way, that's where kids made things and sold it and got to keep the money. And after Christmas, she came back to me and she said, Linda, I want to thank you so much or Mrs. Haley, I want to thank you so much for all the help you gave us getting sponsors for Christmas. But I got to tell you, this year when we took that money that we made ourselves, making things with our own hands, and we got to go shop, and I'm so glad Sue cried so I won't feel so bad by choking up. She said, and saw how happy it made little Manny. She said, that was so special. Thank you. And you know what? You can give charity, you can give handouts, you can throw money at problems, but you can't give that feeling. That is the magic of free enterprise. That is when people get to make that dream come true themselves. So in conclusion, I would like to thank Economics Arkansas, who supports us so well throughout the state with workshops, quality lessons, grants to do things in your classroom you could never do. Our bazaar was sponsored by them initially. Now it's self-fulfilling. Field trips, enrichment, they make it possible to take economic education to a whole new level. So I thank them. And I want to thank all the contributors, investors out there, all you American dreamers. Thank you for investing in this dream. And I want to thank all those educators that go into those classrooms and integrate that economics into what their curriculum is. They don't have to do that. They do it because they know they're preparing the kids for their future. So whether you believe in hope and change or make America great again, the answer to tomorrow's problems are sitting in our classrooms today. And they will change your life if you change theirs first. These students are going to be your bankers, your lawyers, your doctors, maybe your senators. They're certainly going to fix your cars, your teeth, maybe the political system, who knows. So if you get a chance to impact them, give them the tools to peel those apples. Thank you.